Hey, welcome back to another episode of Ego on Break. I'm your host, Dynamite J. Andrews, and I'm joined by probably the 7th level of nasty. He's working to get to 9.
Yeah.
So, the Logan Creed, the Mississippi Madman over here. So, today we're just going to talk about Hell in a Cell. We're going to talk about some world-class championship wrestling and whatever else comes up in the conversation. So, I know Hell in a Cell was just, Sunday. This is Tuesday, so I know you saw some of it.
Yeah,
I saw none of it. So I'm going to talk about some I haven't seen. But you want to give a rundown, just a general review of what you thought about it, or what matches you saw, or what?
I'll give you a rundown on what I saw, and this is what it is. AJ versus Joe. They did a weird ending where Joe went for the choke out. AJ rolled backwards and pinned him.
Okay.
But at the same time, he did this. On the opposite side of where the referee did it, and he did it at the second slap of the hand.
So he tapped out before the 3 count.
But the ref didn't see it.
But the ref didn't see it, which means it didn't happen.
So Joe's like, yeah. So Joe's in the back cussing the ref out later on, and he's like, "How you still even have a damn job?" Blah blah blah.
Well, if I didn't see it.
And then I found it funny because I'm like, here's the perfect build-up, because everybody's complaining about SmackDown ratings.
Yeah.
So they're in the back, and I was like, oh cool, they'll do it Tuesday. And I was like, give them some ratings. And now, what's the English chick now that's over SmackDown? Paige, she comes back here. You're not going to yell at me, and we'll do this in 3 weeks at the pay-per-view with the Australian thing. Yeah. I'm like, but y'all need ratings on SmackDown because y'all complaining about them so much. But
I guess they don't need them that much, huh?
I guess not. But then you had a mixed tag match with Daniel and his wife and Miz and his wife, and it was just absolutely horrible. The women won. Mrs. wife, Maurice, literally laid on
the Bella chick?
Bella, and just laid on her and pinned her. She held her leg, pulled it back. I think it was supposed to be a schoolboy, but they screwed it up, so it literally just turned into a pin where nothing happened. Nobody got hit. She pinned her. It was horrible.
Okay.
And I hate to say this, but out of the matches I'm listening to talk about, I actually like this match. But it beat the crap out of the SummerSlam match. But Bliss and Ronda,
yeah.
Even though there was like,
he counts
7 people in the match, 8 including the referee. It was so overbooked because Ronda Rousey couldn't wrestle a straight match with Bliss because she had to be hurt. Her ribs had to be hurt. So that was the only reason the match was decent, because they did work an injury.
Ronda was hurt, or Bliss was hurt?
Ronda was hurt with her ribs, because that's the only way you can beat up somebody like Ronda. She's already injured, evidently.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's storytelling.
But, 20, it was probably 15, 20 minute match, but it was better than SummerSlam.
Well, nothing wrong with
that. She didn't get jobbed out.
Well, that's a plus.
Yeah.
So
and then Roman versus Braun, the match probably went 15, 20 minutes long.
Yeah. And
then Brock come down and kick the door off. Before, I forgot about the other Shield members come down because McIntyre and Dolph were coming down. So for some reason, instead of chasing them around the ring, they chased them to the top of the cage. And then you had to have somebody fall off the Hell in a Cell, of course, but not the top. They went halfway down.
What did they fall on to?
A table. It was Dolph and
Ambrose. How'd I guess?
No, it's Dolph and Seth.
Really?
Yeah, it was Seth. It was Seth. They did a rematch last night on Raw, and Raw was so bad I couldn't even finish it. I watched like 2 matches.
Really?
And just like, screw this, I don't want to watch this shit. But it's so horrible. I don't know how people watch it anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, after what let me kill it? Honest to God, was the age of us, whatever the hell they are, Apocalypse, whatever, the 2 big buffed up guys. There you go. But them 2 destroying just some jobbers, and I mean, one guy literally looked like he got hurt. You
know who those jobbers were?
I don't know.
Gregory James and Barrett Brown.
I swear, it was so fast, man. Yeah. One of them looked like they got hurt.
Gregory took the big boot, and
well, Daryl come in, he was talking to me, so I wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah.
And I turned back around, and one of them took the power bomb, man. They laid it awkward as all get out. Yeah. I'm just like,
Yeah, that was Barrett Brown and Gregory James. You've seen them in Ego way back in the past. We've tried to get them before, but they constantly. Yeah, absolutely. So those guys are definitely making an impact. But kudos to guys for not getting hurt. Hopefully you didn't get hurt.
Didn't, man. I mean,
but kudos for being on Raw. So
y'all got your ass kicked, but nothing else.
So still cool that they were there. You know.
Yeah, I'll give mine. But that was what made me turn the show off, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I just don't want to watch it no more. I barely want to watch pay-per-views, to be honest.
Right. Well, this morning, we've been doing this in the group message we have.
It ended in a draw because Lesnar come down, kicked the door off, and kicked the crap out of both of them.
Really?
Yeah. And literally kicked the door off the hinges. And somehow the chain come off with it too. So you didn't know that Brock Lesnar's a cyborg.
Why did it
end in a draw?
Was it a draw or did
it was a draw? They cut it as a draw.
So they just stopped the match.
Stopped the match. The ref went like this.
Wasn't Foley the ref?
Foley got maced in the face by Paul Heyman. My bad, I forgot the part of the story.
So in a match where everything goes, but nothing wins.
He F5'd both of them. So instead of waiting,
so they just couldn't continue.
I guess one of them couldn't do this.
I mean, you know.
Well, that's what Shawn Michaels did with Undertaker. Remember with Kane. So I don't know. It was horrible.
It's interesting.
You know, it was horrible.
What'd you think of the cage being red?
I didn't care. Didn't affect it one way or the other.
I just
it looked better, I thought.
I saw people saying, comparing it to the old school McDonald's cages with the balls in them or whatever. So.
Well, you remember a few years ago, TNA did a cage like that, and you had to do an escape the cage match, and it was red.
Was it?
Yeah. Okay. So that's where a lot of people were talking about it too.
I got you.
And it was pretty horrible too.
Well,
Homicide was supposed to win by escaping the cage, but he was so tired by the end of the match, you had to monkey bar out and then pull yourself up. He couldn't get out of the cage because he was so blowed up.
Give me a minute.
Yeah.
There's some ideas look really good on paper.
Yeah, but man, you got to think about guys done wrestled 15, 20 minutes and they're wore out.
Yeah. That's funny. So I started talking about, I have this group message with a lot of guys, and we've been doing this 30-day wrestling challenge thing. But today it was your favorite baby face, right? And so I picked Kerry Von Erich. I always thought he was a great baby. And kind of had that overall package. He was the look. He had he was decent enough in the ring. He talked decent enough, whatever. But so when I get on YouTube, automatically, I guess because your phone's magical or whatever, there was
reading your shit.
Yeah, same difference. There was a video for World Class. So I've watched several World Class videos, or let me rephrase, I've listened to several World Class videos, and you got memories of World Class wrestling?
A little bit, not a lot.
What you remember?
Mainly the Freebirds, Von Erichs.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing.
I know that's the first place I ever saw Kamala.
Really?
Yeah.
Before Mid-South?
Well, no, I guess it would have been Mid-South. Yeah. But what?
I mean, I'm not
wait
curious.
a minute. In one company, was he considered Kamala, and another company was Kimala? You remember that?
Yeah, no, the way I'd heard Kamala talk about it before, and when he was with Lawler gave him the name Kimala. Okay, and I guess because Lawler owned the name, but according to him, he wanted to be creative too.
So he changed the
he changed the I to an A, and became Kamala because he wanted to be creative. He ain't very creative using the same damn name. But hey, my name's Robert. I had an extra B in there.
Spelling.
Well,
Rhino had to change the spelling of Rhino.
Right, but he didn't come on there and go, I changed it because I wanted to be creative and give myself a new name.
I didn't get sued. That's why.
So,
funny.
Yeah, but I always thought it was funny. So I think that's where it had changed from, just so he could kind of claim it was his creation.
But
so
I remember, a few years ago they released a bunch of they released that DVD and the documentary, but it had a bunch of matches with it.
Yeah.
And one match is I want to say it's Kabuki and Kamala.
Wow.
And boy, don't watch that.
Yeah, I bet not. I'll tell you what I remember, and it's something that I just really picked up on today, was how good the ring announcer for one, but their commentator, the Bill Mercer guy was great, man. Like, why does he not get picked up on, you know, as more of a...
Because they died, because the company died.
I guess so, but he was super good. And, you know, like, they were saying that it was Bill Mercer and another guy that came to Fritz and said, hey, they came out with these new cameras, I've got this new way of shooting it. We want to do this business proposition with you to put out a show for our TV station, because they both work for a TV company. And he had turned them down. And but they were one of the first companies that took that, like, get up close and see the action, hear the sounds. The guy said he had filmed a lot of stuff with Don King, and that was one thing Don was really big on, was the sound. Like, we want to hear the licks, you know. And so he brought all that to Fritz and presented it, and Fritz didn't want to go for it. And so they had went to a different station. I think their station got bought out or whatever, and it was a bigger station, and they wanted to do, they did more of their own product. They produced their own shows and that kind of thing. And so they were able to take and pitch it to Fritz to have a second show, because he already had one show. And that's what really sold him on it, was the idea of, you know, just more money with the second show. And so that's, you know, a lot of the stuff you see today came from there, you know, which is so crazy. But, like, it was a who's who came through World Class, man. It was a phenomenal promotion, a promotion that sometimes I forget about, and you go back and watch them, like, man, it's so good, you know. They did a lot of things that people are still copying today. So, kudos.
That's to me, I always liked the Von Erichs and watching the Freebirds right there.
And, like, that's, you know,
that was the best battles they had.
Oh,
in my opinion.
For sure. But there was a lot, you know, Chris Adams and, you know, Steve Austin. You know.
Transport Warrior was Dingo Warrior.
Yeah. So there was a lot of guys came through there. Great Kabuki, Missing Link, you know, Bruiser Brody, Iceman King Parsons, you know, Chris Adams, Gino Hernandez,
King Kong Bundy with hair,
King Kong Bundy with hair, King Kong Bundy without hair, the Super Destroyers.
Well, the first time I saw him, he had long black hair. I was like, who the hell is this fat guy?
Killer Khan was there. Like, man, just a list of guys that came through there. But yeah, I think most people are going to think Freebirds, Von Erichs when they think about World Class.
It's just a natural, you know. And I was reading, you know, what Jim Cornette was talking about their little run in, and they wanted to do stuff with the Von Erichs, and it just never really went there.
Yeah.
And I got wrestling like twice.
Right.
So he's like, I get it, but no money, thank you.
Yeah. Said that I think it was Gary Hart had approached the Freebirds about coming in. And they were like, well, if you're not going to have all these other towns, you know, we don't think we're going to be able to make money there, blah, blah, blah. And he said, just give me one date. You know, you come in for one date, a one-off, and if you're not convinced that you can make money here, then no hard feelings. And said they came in, and they were in Oklahoma, and said, like, you couldn't park, it was a 2-mile walk to, you know, to get to the building because there were so many cars there. And said Michael was like, you know what, we think we'll stick around for a little while. So it's very cool, you know.
Like I said, I bought that DVD, and it's got the Michaels match on it I want to watch.
But yeah, you bought the classic Superstars of Wrestling.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet.
It's a DVD been out for a long time, and it's just kind of a variety of matches in different places. So we may do a review on it. I think I own that DVD as well, and maybe I can watch it.
One thing that caught my eye too was another one, just because of JD, because we both know JD, but it's Eddie Gilbert versus Boogie Woogie Man Jimmy Bay.
Yeah.
And I got to meet him last year, and he was really cool.
Oh, you bet Boogie?
When we did the thing for Brick House.
Okay.
Yeah, I got my picture taken with him and everything.
Awesome.
I don't usually do that, but he's one of the guys.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got to, you know.
Because I was with John Paul, and he's like, get a picture with him. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And the Boogie Woogie Boy, too. Don't forget that.
Did you see any of Pro Wrestling Guerrilla's BOLA?
No, I have not.
It happened this weekend, and so we're going to do a spoiler on it.
You gonna spoil that? I spoiled Hell in the Cell.
Yeah, Jeff Cobb, he won.
Okay.
2018 Battle of Los Angeles, and to me, what was really cool, not only did he win, but Mississippi's own Marco Stunt was part of night 2. He wrestled Trevor Lee, and I saw tweets where people like Trevor Lee's beating up a kid, and but after the match or whatever, the crowd was throwing fun-sized candy bars in the ring for Marco Stunt. And I saw a picture where it said that Trevor Lee told him you should ask him to throw protein bars instead of candy bars because you need all the help you can get or something like that. But
I thought like he's 12, bro. Yeah. I mean, it's not his fault.
I thought it was super cool, but the PWG crowd was chanting "Bring him back" or "Please come back" or whatever to Marco. So congrats to Marco. And then Sammy Guevara from Texas, he was there. And said him and his opponent were both flipping off the crowd and to, you know, screw you and all this kind of stuff. So at the end, Guerrero got up and the crowd was chanting, "Please don't come back." So
wow.
So it was really cool, you know.
You remember Ring of Honor used to do that with Iceberg because they hated his guts and they didn't want him to come back. They thought he was a drizzling, you know what?
Drizzling poops.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was really cool, you know, just, you know, a few months back that we had Jeff Cobb and
Marco Stunt.
Yeah, and Marco Stunt, and now they're on PWG, so very cool for those guys.
We had Marco Stunt in a damn little town where nobody lived.
Yeah, 12 people.
It felt like
so, I mean, the building was semi-packed, but seeing how the building was very big, that don't say a whole lot.
No, it didn't.
But first and last time we went there, so it's cool, you know. But Marco wrestled Monty Warbucks, so that was definitely a size difference.
Yeah, just slightly. We got Monty to do the cannonball on.
Yeah. I believe Marco beat Monty, didn't he? No? Poor Marco. It's just, he was just too much to
not everybody, like Mick Foley says, not everybody's got to win to get over.
That's true. That is true.
I probably lost a hell of a lot more than I won.
Yeah, but you never got over, so it's okay.
I got over, and then I got punished for it, and then I lost a whole lot.
Politics. So,
I want a belt and want to become a jobber. I didn't know it worked that way.
Yeah. This Saturday, we've got Phil Invincible 2.
Felt your what now?
Yeah, Phil Invincible 2 at the Hideaway, September 22nd in Jackson, Mississippi. You got the Federated Champion coming in.
What's his name?
Chance Allren.
Okay.
I believe that's how you pronounce it. The former Chance Champion.
Gotcha.
And he defeated John Davis in Jacksonville, Florida for the Federated title.
Who's he wrestling?
Well, we are still taking votes.
Jesus Christ.
We have asked the fans to vote on who they would like to see him face.
What's your choices?
Everybody on the roster. So it could be you. If you want to see the Madman wrestle.
Stone Possessed. You don't know.
You want to see the Madman get a shot at the Federated title? Let us know.
Don't let the gray hair fool you. I got that for a reason.
Yeah. Scaring yourself in the mirror, huh? But we got that. Pride Championship, Styles Championship will be on the line. O'Shea Edwards will be in the house. Stardust and his Ursa Major take on the Cavemen in an elimination tag match.
Now, we've seen some Stardust training, be honest.
I have.
And we're pretty impressed with what he's been doing, to be quite honest.
I was. I was a little scared, but impressed.
Scared, but I was impressed.
I mean, if you were the guy that was, you know, he was beating up, you'd been scared. So I'm a little worried for the Cavemen.
You don't want none of this.
I mean, they definitely hadn't had a string of victories against them. This feud with Ursa and Stardust has almost been one-sided, if you want to think about it. So
I will say this: Wes has probably put his hands on our Stardust more than anybody else.
That's true.
He slapped the hell out of him.
Yeah, he's definitely
faced him and a couple other things.
Yeah, spit on him and everything else. So.
And now last show, Stardust grabbed him and threw him into a pole.
That is true. So gave him a little payback, huh? And then got the tag team titles on the line. The Path of Nightmares, Eric Silver, the Nightmare Jeremiah will be facing Dinner and a Movie, which is Lights, Camera, and Action, and the Hot Tamale Daniel Perez. So it's going to be a big event. We've got Dax Anthony is coming back. He'll be making his return. He's in the Southern 8 that happens on November 3rd, but he'll be coming back. we picked up a new sponsor with Adams and McDermott Law Firm, and they are sending a representative, Chaz Spencer Adams, who is the son of one of the lawyers, to check things out in Ego and see if it's something they want to continue to sponsor. So
Yeah, I've heard that.
hopefully to impress him. Christian Blake, he won the Great Southern 8 a few years back, and he had an awesome feud with Monty Warbucks. But him and Brett Landry had said, hey, look, we may just drop by Ego. So the hashtag Overboys may be dropping through. So it's going to be a heck of a night there at the Hideaway. So I'm looking forward to that. We just announced the 7th wrestler for the Great Southern 8, which again takes place November 3rd at the Hideaway. And it is none other than the Pale Horse, Josie Quinn. He will be repping Georgia. So that's 2 representatives from Georgia this year.
Is that the final one?
No, it's one more.
One more?
Yeah. And we'll announce that next Monday during Raw.
Do you have anybody from Mississippi this year?
Well, you had to find out.
Very
We got
nice.
one person left.
Oh, okay.
So looking forward to that. And
Stardust, maybe?
maybe. It depends on how it works out for him Saturday.
Okay, be kind of cool.
And then November the 9th is a Friday night. We return to Hattiesburg and talk about a huge card that's going to be there. We are definitely pulling out all the stops. And we're going to set Hattiesburg on fire. It's been a little bit since we've been there, but we're definitely want to jump back off to a big bang.
About a little over a year, right?
Yeah, over a year. So hopefully this kickstarts and maybe we can get a few more shows there. And
That's some good shows.
yeah, I think just the time frame and the Saturday nights just didn't work out.
No,
So they've opened up a Friday spot for us that we can get a couple times a year. So we'll come out to that November the 9th and support Pro Wrestling Ego in Hattiesburg. And never know who's going to be there. So we'll be releasing it soon. But we just want to get a poster and stuff done before we.
You gonna call it something with paths?
Oh, I'm sure.
Please don't.
The Path to Hattiesburg.
Oh, God.
So September 22nd, Feel Invincible 2. November 3rd, Great Southern 8. And then November 9th, return to Hattiesburg. So looking forward to that. And hey, we appreciate you listening, guys. Later.